Gronk Monster, the official sponsor of the Will Wish Show. Pff, I wish, man. I mean, if Ego Raptor can't even get Wendy's to sponsor him, what hope do I have? Welcome, guys. This is another edition of Will's Weekly Pool.
Knock, knock, open up the door. It's Will.
Welcome, guys, to another edition of Will's Weekly Pool. Like I said, this isn't really going to be a comic book show for the time being. I'm going to be tackling more movie stuff, and if this show is kind of like a work in progress right now, I tackled comics initially with it, and now I'm tackling comic book movie news, TV shows, and just like movie stuff in general, because that's the stuff I love, and I want to give you the scoop. So let's jump into it. First off with some self-promo stuff. Notes. So professional, guys. Gotta have them. Believe it or not, I do have notes on most of my videos, even when I'm going, oh god. But anyway, this week I'm tackling Harry Potter movies. I'm planning just to go up to Azkaban because I gotta stretch these bad boys out. We're having 5 Fantastic Beasts movies. I'm hoping I'm still around doing stuff around that point so I can keep doing this series, but aiming for Azkaban. But if we reach 100 subscribers, I will tackle Goblet of Fire. That's not the gift, because there's a contest going on the channel right now. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're 3/4 of the way there. We have 75 subscribers on the channel. I think like about 60 likes on the Facebook. Just go out there, guys. It takes like 2 seconds to like the page. I'm surprised I don't have more likes there. And also just go to the YouTube page. Most of us have a Gmail. If not, it doesn't take that long to sign up for one. Go on there, subscribe. You'll make me happy. You'll get a free gift. You'll be happy. And if we get 100 likes on the Facebook, another one will be happy. I'll make 2 people happy. There'll be like a trifecta of happiness. How isn't that super awesome? Yeah, I wore that just for this. So I've actually been approached by a couple friends or friends of friends about potentially doing some more podcasts or some other things. So now you won't be only annoyed by me here on the Will Wish Show. You'll be annoyed by me by this page over here and that page over there. There's very little details right now, and we just have had like little mini meetings about like what we could tackle, what we need, etc. Baby steps right now, because at this point everybody's like coming to me going like, "Oh, Will, like you know this, all this stuff," and I'm like, guys, like, even though I'm just now kind of getting in my funk here on the channel, I'm still new to this too. So let's just like bang it out and get out of here. And what else? And I think for the month of December, up until Rogue One, I'm going to tackle Star Wars stuff. Maybe like once a week. Even though I hate doing a schedule, I'm just going to do once a week. Maybe I will start with the original trilogy or the prequels. Maybe I'll make that a poll here towards the end of the month, and you guys let me know. I think I will also binge Rebels Season 3 as much as I can. I like binging it more because sometimes there's those like little cliffhangers, like last year we had like the clone episode, and then there's another one, and if they split up the Siege of Lothal stuff, that would have been 2 episodes, but it's like a little mini movie. I don't like doing that from week to week and just going like, oh, like what's happening? Like, oh, like it drives me nuts, and I don't have an easy way to access it right now. So I'm sorry if people want me to talk more about Rebels or like want to talk to me personally about Rebels. We'll get up there. We'll make it through together, and the Force will be strong with us. And just Rogue One will be coming in December, and that's it for the self-promo stuff, guys. Nothing too cool here, but like if you know me, like this is all nerdy stuff and stuff I'm passionate about. I don't know if I mentioned Fantastic Beasts. Obviously, I'm talking about that this week. I'm talking really fast right now. But Fantastic Beasts will be talked about. Going to get to Azkaban. If we get further in the subscriber count, likes, I will tackle Goblet of Fire. And just favorite movies next week. Just a couple. Just to have a little bit of fun, because we're all going to be having like family time with Thanksgiving. And I don't want to be clubbing up your feed too much. You guys are going to be like, oh, happy Thanksgiving, I'm grateful. I don't want to be that guy that goes, hey, watch my videos instead of Thanksgiving, because that's not cool. Am I right? But now let's jump into the news. All right. So a bunch of trailers dropped this weekend, and I'm going to tackle them in the order that I saw them in. And the first one is Valerian, and I forget all the nonsense under this thing, but I feel like they should take a hint from John Carter of Mars and just call it Valerian, because that's simple. Everyone can say it right off the tongue. And I'm impressed with the casting and a lot of the visuals in this trailer, but I gotta say I'm about sick of it because it's the running ad on YouTube right now. I keep seeing it. I'm just going like, oh my god, stop it. Like, I get it, Cara Delevingne's cute, Dane DeHaan likes her. There's all kinds of crazy cool aliens, a lot of CGI, which isn't a bad thing with the concept of this French comic book. I'm not really familiar with it. I'm not really familiar with the material. I don't read that comic book. It's also a French-based comic book. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I've never heard of it up until I saw this trailer. It's also directed by the guy who did Lucy and The Fifth Element. And if you guys like those movies, you guys may end up liking this, especially if you like The Fifth Element. It looks like it's drawing a lot of stuff from that. And funny enough, I haven't seen that. I should probably get on that and watch that. You would think I'm on some challenge over here to watch a movie for the rest of the year, you know what I'm saying? Let's jump into the next one. I brought up Lucy, so let's transition to Scarlett Johansson's Ghost in the Shell. This is based on an anime I haven't seen, but I don't really know too much about this, believe it or not. I was a huge Toonami nerd, and I would watch not this. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen that movie. I really haven't. And like I said, I gotta get on that. There's so many movies I need to watch. That's probably another one. But Scarlett Johansson, everybody was in a hissy about her being a whitewash cast, even though this character's primarily played Asian. But I don't want to be that guy. There's not too many mainstream Asian actresses. I'm sorry, someone's gonna go in the comments and go, oh hey, what about this person? Oh, what about the chick playing Melinda May on S.H.I.E.L.D.? They're busy right now, and I don't think they have the box office draw that a Scarlett Johansson has. And she's not. It doesn't look like she's being too disrespectful. And if I came off disrespectful, I didn't mean to, guys. There's not too many female mainstream actresses who I think could take on this role. So I apologize if you disagree with me, but that's just my opinion right now. It looks really cool. It looks very anime. It looks very anime-esque. I feel like I'm watching a cartoon or something from the Animatrix. Funny enough, and I feel like it deals with a bunch of that robots, AI, cyborg nonsense. It looks really cool. A lot of cool visuals here as well. And I'm actually pretty optimistic for this because if we can get this off the ground, maybe eventually, maybe in 10 or 20 years when I'm 50 and there's Dragon Ball Super GT X58999. Maybe I can be oh, I remember when Dragon Ball Z was on Toonami. Now you have 7 Dragon Ball Z movies. It's so awesome, isn't it, Sonny? But we're going to stop doing old people voices, and we're going to tackle a tale as old as time. Old as rhyme, old as time, whatever. We're going to talk about Beauty and the Beast here. Beauty and the Beast. I didn't know this trailer was dropping, but early this morning I was just fiddling around Facebook. I go to my page feed, and Emma Watson, it was pretty fresh, 10 minutes in. Boom! Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast. So slap at the bass now. Beauty and the Beast. You can slap at the bass. I'd watch that. Paul Rudd slapping the bass. But Beauty and the Beast. It looks almost like a shot-for-shot remake of it, but in live action, which is not a terrible thing. But I would like to see some new original concepts and a lot of cool things. They're actually bringing it with their live action movies. Not gonna lie. Cinderella, I actually kind of enjoyed. It wasn't terrible. They actually brought some depth to her and the prince. They're not just 2-dimensional. Jungle Book, I have a review about it. Whoop, right there. I'm going to see if I can do that again. Whoop. But I'm liking some of the casting here. Emma Watson is brilliant casting as Belle. Belle was one of my first crushes as a child because I think I had that, Aladdin, and what else I think I had Jungle Book. All 3 of those movies on repeat until other new Disney movies from the 90s came out. And I think Belle was probably one of my first crushes because she was always wearing blue. Blue's my favorite color, and she's I'll sing through the town, I don't know the song. Sorry guys, but she's wearing blue and she's really cute. But Emma Watson, great, because we all know her as the nerdy, beautiful Hermione from Harry Potter, and it's that's cool. And I believe we have Luke Evans as Gaston. Quite frankly, I think I should be Gaston. Because no one punches like Gaston, no one records like Gaston. This is the only song I know about Gaston because it's so damn catchy. I think I'm doing it wrong, but I might cut the sound. I do not know, I can't sing. But anyway, they got him, and I think they got Josh Gad as Lefi. Oh, I don't know how to say the name. They're catching the essence of the animated film. Lovely here. I can't wait to see it. I think if I had to be a nitpicker, the Beast looks a bit too maybe cartoonish or maybe too nice, but we've seen him kicking those wolves' ass. He looks like he's gonna be a badass and maybe a little bit meaner. I'm totally fine with the Beast redesign or just making him live action because last time we brought a live action Beauty and the Beast interpretation, we got this. Yes, that terrible movie. Or just in general, people are gonna be taking their kids to this. They don't want their kids terrified of the Beast, and it kind of makes me sad that people aren't going to be scared of this thing. Because that was a good thing in the 90s, being scared of stuff. And I don't know. I get the rationale on Disney to not make this thing look scary, but on the same front, I'm kind of going oh man, I was hoping for a little jump scare here and there from Disney. But that's about it from the trailer talk, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Those are my quick thoughts on them instead of doing 3 individual videos. Figured, whoop, 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 get them all done. And that's that. Now we're going to recap some TV stuff that happened in the past couple weeks. Walking Dead. I'm currently behind. I haven't seen the 4th episode. No spoilers on here. So I have spoilers for episode 2 and 3. And I'm just going to tackle some brief bullet points here and there. We get a Carol and Morgan episode. They end up where King Ezekiel is. And I actually like this guy. And his voice, it was bugging me the whole time. I was going like, I know this guy from something. I was thinking like, oh, maybe he was in Blade. Or maybe he was in like some other show I watched. Maybe he was in the Arrowverse. It turns out I was close. He was actually Aqualad and Cyborg from Young Justice and Teen Titans, respectively. But like, he's actually doing live action stuff. I'm going like, oh, that's so awesome. He's like, he's doing another comic book show. It's so cool. He actually brings a lot of cool stuff with Ezekiel. I actually did a quick like little Google search on the Walking Dead wiki. Apparently, Ezekiel and Michonne in the comics were together at some point before like they meet up with him in the comics again. Apparently worked in a zoo, which is staying accurate. He did some community theater, which is why he does like the whole king nonsense and like actually plays it up because people start telling stories and they're like, oh hey, King Ezekiel's cool. I mean, you guys saw 10 Things I Hate About You. Heath Ledger, everyone just kept saying stories about how badass he was. And he was actually just kind of just minding his own business, doing his own thing. But I liked King Ezekiel. I like that. Third episode's a Daryl episode because Walking Dead does the same formula, but they just switched up just a tad bit this time. They split everyone up. We go see what they're all doing, and then by the mid-season finale, they're going to be all back together, and there's going to be some crazy cliffhanger. I guarantee that happens at some point here. But I think the main plot, they're going to all get together, King Ezekiel and the Alexandrians, they're going to team up with their forces and probably use the tiger and a bunch of other resources they have. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that King Ezekiel has a tiger. I don't know, it's pretty cool how he ends up getting the tiger to listen to him. It's a very touching story. Just a nice little story about that. All right, but then we get to the third episode, which is a Daryl-focused episode. He's like being like thrown in prison, just playing like annoying music to like drive him crazy, and just like they want to break his will because they want him to work with Negan because he's got a lot of like spunk. Like he had enough balls to stand up and punch Negan in that first episode this season. And like they can't do anything to break him. There's like little hints and nods, like people are going like, oh hey, like you can't win this way. Like don't just like stick with it or just say yes. And like that weirdo who got his face burned off, I forget his name. They probably said it like 4 or 5 times. Was it Dwight? I think it's Dwight. Of course it's Dwight, this assistant to the Negan manager. But he's like wearing all of his stuff, riding his motorcycle, breaking his crossbow. Like he has all these things, and he wants to be the Daryl. But like I don't know, it's not working for me. I don't like the character. I hope he dies. No offense, but anyone who isn't like one of the main 3 or 4 core cast, it's pretty much fair game at this point, so he's probably going to die before mid-season, or even in the season finale, who knows. But that's it for Walking Dead. Nothing too crazy, nothing too tragic, nothing like that we're going to need therapy at least for now at this point. So let's tackle the Arrowverse. All right, we're going to tackle them in order. Supergirl, at this point, when this episode's going to go up, I probably watched it, but I am behind 1 episode on Supergirl. But let's just tackle some quick highlights. First off, we get Miss Martian showing up. I knew she was going to be showing up, and I was excited because I am a Young Justice fan, and she's actually a pretty cool fleshed out character. And we find out like at one point that she is a white Martian, and I love how all these shows are just kind of like running with it and just like going like fast and loose with this and just like telling us stuff immediately. Because I think they even told us like, whoa, she's a white Martian. Martian Manhunter's like, oh my god. But like he's very accepting. He's very nice to her. He's like, oh hey, like we're the last survivors. I will be friendly with you, like regardless. Like we don't have to be. Maybe he didn't know that, but he was helping her after he found out she was in a fight ring with Roulette. Like I said, fast and loose. Like we're getting all the characters we need, and they're being accurately portrayed to it. Because I remember Roulette from like towards the end of Arrow. This chick pretty much got it spot on. The Fight Club thing was a bit stupid, but at the same point, like I don't know how you're gonna get all these aliens and like at least flesh out Miss Martian and Martian Manhunter's relationship. Speaking of relationships, let's talk about Mon-el and Kara. They're not together at this point, but like they are feuding because they were from rival planets, Daxam and Krypton. They thought the Daxamites were essentially like frat bros. They don't want to mess with them. And Kryptonians, everyone's like, oh, like they're snooty scientists, blah blah blah. But then they find out like they're the last survivors, and they're like, hey, like I'm sorry, like you lost your family and all this stuff, and I didn't want to tell you, but like that's what happened. Our planets are destroyed. You can't go back. And he's like, okay, that's fine, but like I want to like be free. I want to like learn. But anyway, Mon-el actually wants to like learn and like be like Kara and Superman and kind of just like blend in and do his own thing. Like he's still learning stuff. Apparently Kara got him a job and wants. I'm actually digging Mon-el, even though he does have like that frat boy like Prince of all Daxam like thing going on with him. He does actually genuinely want to be a good person and like impress Kara. And obviously I think at some point between now and the season finale, they're going to at least try to date because even though their button heads are going, ooh, I don't like him, ooh, I don't like her, I feel like eventually it's going to be like, ooh, maybe I do kind of like you. Maybe like, since we're opposites, maybe we do attract. Since I was on Dexam on the other end and you were on Krypton over here, I don't know, I kind of like you. Like I said, we're talking about Superman here. But anyway, Jimmy Olsen also gets fleshed out a little bit more. They revealed pictures of this weeks before this episode, but apparently he's tired of being a psychic and wants to be a superhero, like Kara and everyone else. But anyway, Winn tries to talk about it and going like, Jimmy, you can't do this. You're not super. You can't do this. And Jimmy's like, I got to. Like, I've got to do this. I got to stand on my own 2 feet. Like, at the beginning of that episode, his camera gets broken by some criminals. And, like, it was, like, one of his last connections to his father. And, like, that broke his heart, obviously. But, like, I think it's been building for a while since, like, he's known Superman. Like, he's always been the sidekick. And funny enough, like, in the comics, in, like, Golden Silver Age, in the goofier stories, he has actually gotten superpowers either through the Legion of Superheroes, or when they went to the Bottle City Kandor, I think he was like Flamebird while Superman was Nightwing. And since there is another Superman like apprentice in the Guardian, it would be kind of cool to see this new interpretation of Jimmy becoming the Guardian, because like I said, they showed pictures of this initially. It's actually kind of cool to see Jimmy step into his own. Since the Smallville, he didn't really get to do, like, he did like little spy missions, and it was essentially in love with Kara, but this version of Jimmy doesn't seem like he's going to be putting up with this nonsense or be like the nerd anymore. Not that he really looks like a nerd, just throwing that out there. But I like that this Jimmy stepping into his own. Let's tackle the Flash. I think I brought up that Jesse Quick was showing up, and their presence is very welcome. I love every time Harrison Wells shows up, because, I'm not going to lie, Tom Cavanaugh is like kind of the heart. He's like kind of like the Obi-Wan to Barry's Anakin or Luke or whatever you want to say there. Even when Eobard Thawne's playing, I'm like, this guy has so many layers right now. I'm surprised with the whole Flashpoint thing we didn't just get another Harrison Wells that just got respawned. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I called this in my last episode, but I'm pretty sure either the Rival or Alchemy or maybe Barry unintentionally will fix the timeline, at least back to like a more like stable state, because there's too much craziness going on right now, not gonna lie. Like, Cisco's brother dying, like, I think the universe could live with him dying or not. Like, it sucks for Cisco, but, like, it does make him, like, a little bit deeper, makes him a little bit sadder. Caitlin with Frost powers, I don't know if I would like one of the main core team members becoming a bad guy after we've loved and liked this character for, like, 3 seasons. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be fixed immediately before the end of the show this season. Joe and Iris' relationship, I feel like that's going to be fixed at some point. Even though at this point I can barely tell anything was wrong, just to be honest. So that's already fixed though. Good on you, Flash. Maybe even Wally. I didn't suggest this earlier, but maybe Wally, when he gets his powers, he learns like the consequences of going back and changing stuff, because maybe he goes back and maybe Barry dies somewhere, and then Wally has to go back, and then when he comes back, everything's about the same as it was before season 3. But at this point, I just like seeing all the stuff that we're seeing right now. Jesse and Harrison Wells have to go back, obviously. Like, they don't want to like disrupt the timeline or the multiverse as much as they have already with stuff that happened in season 2 and with what Barry has already done. Because when Wells and Jesse come back, Wells can already tell something's amiss, and he's like, "You messed with the timeline, didn't you, Barry?" He's like, "Oh, yep." He's like, "Oh, you don't listen, blah, blah, blah." Like, he's got so many mentors telling him that he shouldn't have done this, and I feel like Barry is still continuously, throughout this show, is still going to do this. But we also get introduced to a new Harrison Wells, who is actually a little bit interesting. Like, this Wells is actually like a fake. Like, we see like a little hologram of him going like, "Oh, hey, like, I'm the smartest man alive. I also dress like a hipster." We get to see like a mime version of him, a steampunk, a potential version of him that looks like Doctor Who. Just all kinds of stuff. Like I said, Harrison Wells, interesting character. I'd almost just watch a show or like maybe read a prequel comic, like maybe a one-shot about Harrison Wells, because that guy is so interesting. After nothing else, Tom Cavanaugh is just a really good actor. What else do we got in here? We get to see previews for what's happening tomorrow, or, well, can you guys guess when I'm recording this? At least on the new episode that's premiering on the 15th, that Alchemy is going to be giving maybe Wally his powers, or Wally's having like dreams and like maybe goes out in a coma about like him dreaming of himself dying in the other timeline. We don't know the extent of what's going to happen here. And it'd be cool to see Wally and Barry work together, and Joe having to deal with, oh hey, like Barry actually knows this stuff about the Speed Force, and worrying about his son being a vigilante like Barry. That's just a thought. Maybe not. Maybe that won't happen, but it will be cool. Maybe at one point, maybe Wally will turn on us. It would suck to see, like I said, it would suck to see another member of the team that we've grown to love turn on us, but at the same point, everyone Alchemy's touched to turn to someone from their Flashpoint self has gone bad, and it would just bring an interesting dynamic to Joe, Barry, and Wally like all fighting. It would also bring just an interesting dynamic with like Barry going up essentially against his little brother, Joe telling Barry like, you can't kill him or beat him because if you do this, like, I can't forgive you. That's my actual blood. Yeah, I raised you, but there's just so many interesting things that can happen in the Flash with this new Alchemy guy, and just with a bunch of stuff going on with the Flashpoint and Killer Frost and stuff like that. Now let's tackle Arrow. Funny enough, even though that Arrow's back to its like regular scheduled programming, I will say this is the show I'm behind on the most because I think I gathered that habit from the season 3 and 4 like purge of it. Yeah, I'm calling it a purge because I stopped watching it. I have to download it or just watch it late. I think that's why it came like towards the end of my recaps because I couldn't get into it. But now like we actually have some good stuff. Like they're drawing some more stuff from Batman. Arrow is doing cool stuff. I gotta say, there's one episode. I didn't catch it initially because I watched this one twice just to make sure. But there is a bad guy played by Cody Rhodes who has also been Stardust and wrestling. And it's just kind of cool to see like a part 2 to their fight because I actually watched that. I'm not a big wrestling guy, but I watched the Stardust and Stephen Amell fight. That was actually pretty cool because my best friend who really is into wrestling is going like, hey, are you going to watch that fight? Or you can come over for that just to watch that and you can go off and do your own thing, or I can just catch you up. But that stuff was really cool. I liked seeing that there's a bad guy played by Cody Rhodes who deals a drug called Stardust. There's all kinds of meta jokes to Stephen Amell's real life because Wild Dog wears the hockey mask. There was some jokes about that going like, a guy in a hockey mask, that's kind of dumb. Like I think Oliver says that or someone says that to him. And then towards the end of the episode, someone says it again. I think it's Artemis. Because the chick who was Black Canary last season is now doing the mantle of Artemis, which is pretty cool for all you Young Justice fans. Do you see CW TV? They know what to do. They're going to get Young Justice Season 3, aren't they? We got that. Mr. Terrific actually looks kind of cool. Like, I wondered how they were going to do him with that big fro. But he's doing cornrows, but then the next day, like, his hair is back to normal. I'm not, like, a big expert on hair, but your hair can't do that, right? The mask looks fine. It looks just about as comic accurate as they can get. And Rags, I'm not familiar with that character. That guy's actually kind of cool. I like him. I believe we're getting more stuff like Human Target, which is a very short-lived show on Fox, which was based on another DC comic. I totally recommend that. And Vigilante I don't know how they're going to change him, but I know Vigilante, at least the Vigilante I know, like was dressed like a cowboy and had like the 2 little pistols. I don't think they're going to do that version, but if they did in this universe, it'd be crazy cool. If nothing else, maybe show him in Legends of Tomorrow, hanging out with like Jonah Hex, which that's coming soon in Legends. But speaking of Legends, let's just talk about Legends right now since I'm kind of rambling like I always do. So Legends of Tomorrow, I'm caught up on this pretty much at this point. We get to meet the Justice Society of America. They are pretty cool. It's cool seeing them now in 2 live-action interpretations, which is pretty sweet. Maybe the DC Extended Universe can talk about them at some point too. I don't know. But we get to see like Commander Steel, Vixen, Obsidian, and just like the whole crew. And apparently we know why that historian's there now. He's related to this guy, and he'll become the next Steel because at the end of this episode, like during this episode we find out he's a hemophiliac. I believe that's right. I'm sorry if I got the condition wrong, but like the way he bruises and just the way he heals stuff with his blood is messed up. So Sarah wants him to stick behind, going like, you can't fight out there. And even Commander Steel, not Commander Steel. Yeah, it's Commander Steel. Even Commander Steel's like, oh, hey, like you don't have to fight to be a hero. Like you can be like using your brain and like helping the Legends another way. But like you're my grandson and I'm still proud of you. Blah blah blah. A lot of cool stuff, just like a good connection right there. And they're obviously milking Steel's comparisons to Captain America there. Like even the costume, even though like some of these costumes look maybe just a tad bit cheaply made, they look as spot on as they could for this show. And it's pretty cool. Like all the JSA fans, I hope you enjoyed that. Who knows, maybe we'll get to see them again, or maybe just see like a giant superhero team up with this thing that's coming up soon. In the 4-part crossover. Vixen witnesses Rex Tyler being killed, and she doesn't see who does it, but she knows it's a time traveler because his last words to her were like, oh, time traveler. She goes on to the ship to try to stop them because the only time travelers she knows are the Legends of Tomorrow. She doesn't know about the Reverse Flash yet. And in fact, the group, even at the end of this episode, doesn't really know. They just know it's a speedster. They don't know about Reverse Flash, technically. But she joins the team, essentially. Citizen Steel gets his powers because at the end of that episode, they're fighting Nazis or just super soldiers. They inject Adam messes with some super soldier serum, sticks it into him, and now he can get metal skin. He's actually pretty cool. It's actually a pretty cool effect for this show, and yeah, that's pretty cool. We also get to another episode with Civil War zombies, and it's actually like an interesting period to see Vixen and Firestorm working in, because like in that time, like, they were oppressed. Like they don't want to mess with history too much, but they do. They're still gonna be heroes and stand up for what's right. And there's a few times like you think they're gonna get like pretty messed up, and they end up like turning the tables on them. It's actually pretty cool. The zombie idea was kind of cool, and I think Mick gets infected at one point, and Ray, who has lost his suit at this point because they fought some Shogun warrior, he got a hold of it, and the only way to stop him was to blow up the armor. And now Adam's trying to find like his new like contribution to the team. And at one point at the end of the zombie episode, Mick offers him to be like the new Captain Cold, which that's kind of interesting. I want to see that, and I kind of want to see how that plays out later this season, because if you guys don't know, Captain Cold will show up again, and he's going to be part of the Legion of Doom, and that'd be kind of cool to see like a future or an alternate version of like Leonard Snart going up against Brandon Routh's Captain Cold. And who knows, maybe at some point they'll drop Brandon Routh off, he'll get a new suit, or when the 4-part crossover comes out, he will be messing around and build like a new better suit that has like DNA like identifiers so people can't steal his suit. I don't know. That's just me. It just kind of be cool to see how Mick reacts to that, because he's actually been a decent guy. Yeah, he's kind of like just the brute muscle. He's like, ugh. He's kind of like the Zeb of this group. Funny enough. But yeah, that's about it for all the shows. They did release a preview for the 4-part crossover. They're going like aliens versus superheroes. It's coming in a couple of weeks, starting with Supergirl on Monday, then The Flash. Just like, we're super excited, and I want to see how these aliens turn out, and just how the SmackDown's going to go down with the aliens and superheroes. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be the coolest thing they've done since the last Flash and Arrow crossover, so I'm pretty excited for that. And I brought up another team show, Young Justice. This just came out of nowhere. A bunch of my friends and just people tweeting about this when it finally came to Netflix in full. We're going like, oh hey, if we watch it now, like we can get season 3. And I'm like, I've already watched it, but my little brothers hadn't. So I was like, hey, like keep watching it, or because I know you already watched it, Andy Man. But like if we watch this now, it'll come back as a season 3. And funny enough, boom, it's coming, season 3 of Young Justice. I'm actually kind of cool because I hate. I just absolutely hate when a show I loved that went on for a couple of seasons ends with like a massive cliffhanger, or just like with a massive like loose end. Like we're like, what? Like that was behind the whole thing. The big reveal at the end of season 2 was that Darkseid has been essentially behind everything and kind of working with Vandal Savage. He's like the one who framed the Justice League. This is just from memory, guys. Like that's how good the show is. And my little brothers, after I told them the season 3 thing, they're rewatching it right now. I'm getting to see some stuff like the Belle Rev episode when Megan, however you say her name, and Connor are infiltrating Belle Rev to find out some villainous plot. I saw the one where the Red Tornado's siblings come. A lot of cool episodes. And I like seeing the banter between Wally and Artemis again. And Dr. Fate. I love their version of Dr. Fate in this. And just, I love that they put this in their own separate universe, because it doesn't really matter if they did something different than, like, let's say the Bruce Timm universe or the comics, because they set this universe straight. But that's about it for me, guys. I'm done gushing about TV shows and movie trailers. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think about this new format still? No one's really commented, so apparently I'm doing A-okay. Let me know in the comments below. And also, I'm going to be fiddling with like the end card stuff, because YouTube recently just made some changes, so be patient with me on that. I will try to make it cool and make it look nice, or maybe you'll just get something like this. Hey guys, like I said, just like, comment, subscribe, and just remember, when there's a will, there's a way. There's the links over there, little circles, and like a link to a video or a playlist. Just go there and just be patient with me, and I will kind of get this figured out or get a new end card going. But that's about it for me, guys. When there's a will, there's a way.